Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage LifeVantage Chief Executive Officer, Darren Jensen.
You got what it takes, no matter what they may say, nothing stands in your way, that's the power of you. So don't forget who you are, you were born to go far, the beating deep in your heart, that's the power of you. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. That was some incredible dancing. I think that little girl that came out initially is 11 years old. So that's pretty incredible. It was almost like that family last night for the elites. We had a group of 5 siblings come out and they entertained us. And I think the youngest was 7. And there's some really incredibly talented people in the world. And we're glad to showcase them here. So welcome to everyone. This is our very first official session. So welcome. A special welcome to those that have traveled from all around the world to come and join us. Now, they didn't do a very good job yesterday when I did this, but let me welcome a few countries. When I said not a very good job, I said Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Okay, much better, Australia. Welcome. Welcome to our Australians. What about our Japanese? Konnichiwa, Japan, welcome. Good. Oh, wow, look at that big group over there. Welcome, Japan. Let's see, what other groups do we have? How about Mexico? Welcome, Mexico. Do we have Puerto Rico? Excellent, Puerto Rico. How about the Netherlands? Welcome, Netherlands. United Kingdom. Yay. There's someplace. Let's see, who else do we have? That was the United Kingdom. So, Thailand. I see 2 over here. Welcome. Glad to have you. As a matter of fact, we only got 2 in the country. We had a big group trying to get in and only 2 got their visas. So, I said the Netherlands. Oh, I remember, Canada. Welcome, Canada. Did I forget anybody else? Oh, yeah. Well, geez, that was hard. How about the United States? Welcome, everyone. I also want to recognize a few people. One, this year we did something special. We've been trying to raise money for our Legacy Foundation because I have to say this last year was the first time that myself and my family, we went down to build the homes in Mexico. And I have to say it's a life-changing thing. If you have not had a chance, please go. We're trying to double the number of people that we can take. And so this year, I really need you to try to get there. But what we did to raise money to build these homes is that we sold some special legacy seats. And they're the seats in the green. Can we have everybody in the legacy seat stand up? Let's give them a big round of applause for helping us build homes and change lives. Thank you. Now, our goal is to do $120,000. Right now, we're only at 15. So anything that, I know that everybody can't spare a lot, but whatever you can spare, please donate in the store. You'll see our booth, or you can do it at checkout. And when you do, you know how we have the little pin chase? You can attach, you'll get one of those legacy pins that you can attach to it. So please do that. You know, I was sitting here thinking, I forgot to invite some other, not to invite, but to recognize some other people. I'd like to recognize all of our competitors that are here. If you could all raise up your wrist, if you could raise up your wrist that has the bands on it, and these wristbands have the ability to detect competitors if they're flashing. I see a few. No, I'm just kidding. I said to randomly program 30 of them, so I'm just kidding. But anyway, if we do have any here, we're glad to have you with us, and we're so glad to have you here today. This is really, truly one of the highlights of my year, and I know that it's It's the highlight of the year for our corporate staff. Global Convention is something special. In a world that at times feels like it's upside down, it's nice to be able to come here and interact with so many that I consider family. As a matter of fact, when I talk to my wife, I've got my wife and kids here. Some of the first ones. You guys want to stand up? Just wave really quick. My wife, Carol Lee, and I've got a couple of Rebecca and Eric here. I have 5 kids, but some of them are married, and I've got one who's in Taiwan learning Chinese. But in a world that's upside down or feels upside down, it's nice to come together and interact with people that are good people. And whenever people ask me, tell me about LifeVantage, one of the first things I say is that we have good people. We have the best people in the world. So thank you for being who you are. Now, doesn't it seem like that at times the world is full of uncertainty? In fact, sometimes it feels like it's more uncertain than ever before. Like the changes are coming so rapidly that we don't know what's coming up next. But what if I were to tell you that that simply isn't the case? It's not true. That no matter how much it seems that way, we're actually much more certain about our future today than we've ever been before. You and I know more about the future than we think that we do. We just need to know where to look. For instance, just look outside. I would say it's springtime, but I was just backstage and Dave Fleming told me that it snowed 10 inches last night. Not down here, but in the mountains. But let's say, look outside and it's springtime. And yet, I can say with complete certainty that in 2 months, it may still be winter. No, I'm just kidding. That it will be summer. And then 6 months later, I'm gonna go out on a limb and predict that it's going to be winter. Now, that's not really going out on a limb, I know that. But you see, there are things that we can know about the future. And it's the same way about business. I've spent my career identifying trends and forecasting the future. And I'm here to tell you with complete certainty that mind-boggling things are coming in the future. Now, some of you may be skeptical, I get that, but stay with me because this gets really exciting. When we talk about the trends, we're talking about 2 different types of trends. There are hard trends and there are soft trends. A hard trend is a projection based on measurable, tangible, and fully predictable facts and events and objects. It's something that will happen. It's a future fact and it cannot be changed, like the seasons. A soft trend is a projection that's based on statistics that have an appearance of being tangible and fully predictable facts. It's something that might happen. It's a future maybe. Now, as an example of a soft trend, do you remember a few years ago when phones just kept getting smaller and smaller, and it seemed like one day we would be answering one of these? Now, not only was this phone a soft trend, but I swear that shirt that he was wearing also was a soft trend. Now, because these soft trends can be changed by preferences, choices, desires, but hard trends are what we're after, because they can help us predict the future with certainty. Let's look at the baby boomers, for example. Looking at hard trends, we could have predicted that all of those babies would require additional school buildings in the 1950s and 60s, which some people did predict and got quite wealthy. We could have predicted the increase in college attendance in the 1970s for these baby boomers. The increase in spending as all of those baby boomers began making money in the 1980s. And to look into the future, we can predict that there's going to be a booming elderly care market. Hard trends are what tells us what's coming. But again, we need to know where to look. So what do these trends have to do with LifeVantage? Well, as you know, we believe in being proactive to the hard trends of the global economy. So my friends, we're seeing that in action today. Let's look at some of the hard trends that affect us. Imagine, if you would, if I told you just a few years ago that we could sequence all 3 million bits of code in your genome. You would have thought that I was crazy. The first human genome wasn't sequenced until 2003, and it cost $2.7 billion to sequence that genome for the first time. But today, we can do it in under 24 hours for less than $1,000. Can you imagine that? Crazy, right? Now, I'm going to tell you something else that sounds a little bit crazy. I want you to take a couple of seconds and just briefly glance at the person on your left. I'm sure they look nice. I have to say that the LifeVantage people are probably the most beautiful and handsome people on the planet, right? So the person to your left looks nice. What if I could tell you that person to your left, that she could live to be 120 years old and know her great-grandkids and maybe go see Paris at 100 years old? Okay? Now look to the person to the right of you. What if I could tell you that he could live to 150, that he could climb Mount Everest at 110? How about you? What if you could live even longer, much, much longer? Impossible, right? But seriously, what would you do with all the extra time? These are important questions, and LifeVantage is on a mission to answer them. Today, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our mission as a company. Our mission at LifeVantage is to biohack the aging code. Okay? Now, when we were talking about biohacking, I want to be clear that hacking isn't necessarily a teenager in a black hoodie, kind of slumped over a computer keyboard that's stealing your credit card information. Hacking is actually making the world a better place today, but in this sense. Hacking is defined by one leading researcher as learning to manipulate a complex system. And definitely the aging code is a complex system. Hacking means to some, hacking Swedish furniture, like IKEA. To others, it's hacking bits of information and metal. How we manufacture items with 3D printing, how we interact with technology, or taking the next giant leap in quantum computing. The important takeaway here is that hacking leads to new possibilities and abilities. Hacking robotics leads to new abilities in 3D printing that allow us to build smarter artificial intelligent technology. Smarter AI leads to quantum computing that makes even our fastest computers look slow by a factor of hundreds of millions of times. These fields are so closely interconnected now that the lines are being blurred in between them. And that's where it gets really exciting for every single one of you sitting here today. Leaders in the computer, AI, and robotics fields are looking to biology as the next logical step. This was an interesting article in Time. It said, "Can Google solve death?" Now, that was the title of a 2013 Time magazine article. And yes, Google CEO Larry Page is trying to hack aging. Now, this would sound crazy if it wasn't Google, right? But in tech years, 2013 might as well have been a century ago. When it comes to biology, what we're learning, and we're not alone, is that a line of code and a strand of DNA have a lot in common. And we're quickly learning how to alter that code. And we're doing it with nutrigenomics. Okay. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, someday we're going to be driving around in flying cars, sipping on drinks served by Rosie the robot from the Jetsons. Boy, that's really dating some of us, I think. But here's the thing. we're not talking about extending life or the ability that could be developed 100 years down the road. We're talking about this is happening right now. We have already started. A few months ago, we got a call from the National Institute of Aging, and they had conducted a study and found that Protandim, NRF2, had extended the life of male mice by 7%. Okay? Now let me repeat that. 7% more life in the male mice. That is incredible. Okay? As a matter of fact, if you remember, every time Eric Worre was here, he would say, guys, I'm not hearing about this enough. This is so unique. We're not talking about it, and we need to be talking about it. Now, extending life isn't something we have in our sights. It's something that we're exploring right now, and it's just the beginning because we're not alone. Companies all over the world are seeing the same opportunities. Companies like Google, Bulletproof, Calico, MIT, Berkeley Biolabs, MycoWorks, BioCurious, Tim Ferriss, Gabriel Lacina, who, by the way, this guy figured out a way, Gabriel Lacina, figured out a way to give himself night vision. I don't know how that happened, but he did. Another one, Project Cyborg. So how are we doing this? We're building at LifeVantage, we're building a hacking culture at our corporate headquarters. That means we're going to keep experimenting, keep researching, using nutrigenomics to find new ways to extend the quality of life. It means we're going to embrace trial and error. And here's what that means for you. More amazing products, constant innovation, and this is a big mission and even a bigger vision. Now, it has two parts to it. First, we're using biohacking to extend the quality of life. Number two, and we're counting on you to make sure that you, your family, your friends, and loved ones are living the kind of life that you want to be living for the next 50, 100 years, 300 years. So my wish for each of you is to see in yourselves what I see when I shake your hands and look into your eyes. I want you to see the power that each of you have, the power of you. We at LifeVantage know that in order to live a full life, we need to do two things. We need to have the health to be able to live the life we want to live and the financial means to support that life. And that's where the power of this opportunity that we're in, the power of this industry. We're also using these principles to create an economic engine that can't be equaled anywhere on the planet. Not only are we investigating how to help you live longer, but we also want you to really enjoy the extra time that provides. Because life isn't just about quantity, it's also about quality. And when you combine the entrepreneurial power of LifeVantage with the technology that we have, that's what we call a life activated. And that's why we're investing significant resources into upgrading the look, the feel, and the power behind our brand. We're no longer just some little company from a little state known as Utah. We're competing on a global stage with some of the biggest companies in the world. Therefore, our brand had to improve and change to reflect what we're becoming, which is a global brand. Our innovative approach to supplements using nutrigenomics has the $130 billion supplement industry scrambling. We're also working hard on the living, breathing aspects of some of the technology that you use each day to grow your business. Here in the future, you'll see that we're building artificial intelligence into some of the tools that each of you will be using to build your business. That means that you'll be able to make smarter, more efficient decisions with much less effort. And this is going to completely change the way that you work. When your life becomes longer and your business becomes bigger and stronger, that's an incredible recipe for success. That's our responsibility to help you with that. Now here's yours. Biohacking the aging code is happening right here and right now. And you're going to be hearing a lot more about it. You heard about some yesterday, you hear about it today, you'll hear more about it tomorrow, and really for a long time. In the words of Steve Jobs, we have the capacity to make a ding in the universe. But how successful we are depends on every single one of you. Your success, your stories, and your hard work. That's what's ultimately going to make this ding in the universe. Your collective ability is not a soft trend. It's something that I know with certainty, with complete certainty, will happen. So I want each of you to go out and make your ding on the universe and on this industry, and to live a life activated. Thank you very much. Have a good day.